Hey there, everybody. It's been a while, huh? I'm not yet really done with my mental health break from YouTube, but I wanted to quickly chime in on this bizarre situation surrounding Project KV. You may have seen this game popping up a lot as of late, and it being heavily discussed in the Blue Archive community. Since I'm sure most of you already know what this game is, I'll try to be brief for those of you who are out of the loop. Project KV is, or rather, was, an upcoming game published by Dynamis1 and Studio Alaya, which are both based in South Korea. It was likely speculated that it was going to be the Blue Archive with swords instead of guns, I guess. The game's initial PV trailer showed off a lot of text in bold white coloring, with red backgrounds, so many senseis opted to call it Red Archive with a bit of innocent cheek. The game was actually being developed by ex-Blue Archive dev members, which included some artists. Doremi and MX2J were among some of the super notable character designers that are involved with the project, which, to be honest, I'm not certain if they are freelance or not, but I digress. The similarities between the art style of Blue Archive and Project KV were extremely apparent to some players, and if you ask me, I think the design philosophy of using halos may have been the kicker here. I know that the concept of halos are not something that belong to Blue Archive, but it is a defining feature that does help it to stand out among other gacha games. Project KV using them may have helped to fuel the flames of many Korean and Japanese users who were wholeheartedly against this game. There's plenty of details that I don't really have time to go over, but basically a lot of people accused Project KV of plagiarism of Blue Archive, and it's difficult to argue against or for it. There are nuances in the situation that often get mudding by heightened emotions of Blue Archive players, especially the ones in the East. Apparently, many of the users in Japan and South Korea were angry at the conception of this game. Eventually, Nexon stepped in and pulled the plug on this. Attention! Editing Starlight here. Allow me to make a correction. Apparently, legal issues were not the primary trigger for the cancellation. Nexon did not sue Project KV, but rather just considered it an option that could be used in the future. Dynamis1 was sought out by Shift Up, the developers of Nikke, and even the controversial Stellar Blade, which to this day I have mixed feelings about by I digress. Shift Up considered investing in Dynamis1, but before they could do that, they wanted to see a vertical slice, or a working prototype of the game first. That sounds reasonable. Why invest into something that does not yet exist? However, the Project KV team could not deliver on it due to their programmer shortage. It is true that certain elements of Project KV bore a resemblance to Blue Archive. It's possible that it would have led to legal challenges or disputes between the developers of the two projects. It sucks that it was canceled. It seems like the game was going to be even more risque than Blue Archive could have been, especially under Nexon's tight grasp. It was even going to have an Eroj visual novel released before the actual gacha game. I'd say that in this situation, there are no winners here. Everybody involved loses, including us, the fans. There's going to be a lot of bad blood between Blue Archive purists and people who liked Project KV, as well as Nexon, and the developers involved. It's worth noting that Dynamis1 is still in existence, but Project KV will cease development indefinitely. That doesn't mean we have to lose out on Red Taiga here. There's plenty of art of her already, and she will get so much more. In any case, there is still a lot of nuances I left out of this video, and a major timeline of pure insanity that has been compiled in this text document. Of course, take everything you read with a grain of salt, and never harass anyone involved. Things right now are still being clarified as time goes on, so it's best to be patient and watch from the sidelines for now. It sucks what happened to Project KV, and I know a lot of us are disappointed with how this mess of a situation turned out. But just remember, we still have Blue Archive, and I don't think the artists that worked on KV will be permanently banned from Nexon's offices if they can still contribute to the game. At least I hope not.